war implications. Hey everybody, it's Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. Today I want to talk a little bit about like Ukraine, that kind of stuff, but I also want to get more into what we need to be aware of, what we need to do, and what we need to be ready and prepared for. So first off, we all know what's going on over there. We all know that it appears that Russia is getting ready to invade Ukraine. The Olympics are going on. China's showing its butt like always. We are moving assets around to Europe, to strategic NATO locations, etc. Really seems like stuff is snowballing very quickly. And with our weakened stance in the world, I really wonder if this is the time where other nations will take advantage of our weak policies, weak leadership, weakened military. A lot of that stuff, say Russia invades Ukraine. What does that have to do with us? Well, whether we get involved or not, say not. Say we don't get involved right off the bat. But one thing I'm pretty sure it's going to happen when Russia invades Ukraine, if, when, whatever the case, people are probably going to freak out. People here, people in countries in that region, of course. So if you're living in anywhere near that region, I suggest you really ramp up your preps now. Ukraine is arming and training civilians, forming militias basically, which, yeah, that's what I would be doing if I was about to be invaded. What about here? People will still freak out. People will go to the store to buy extra supplies, exacerbating the already existing shortages. Shortages kind of, for us here, what I've seen is kind of hit and miss. Stores have been fairly well stocked lately, so that's a good thing. But a lot of people worried about this, rightfully so. So what can we do as preppers? Because we are proactive, not reactive. We look at what's going to happen, what might happen, and we prepare for it. Thus, preppers. You guys know that. A lot of people I hear on the internet, oh, I'm getting my gear ready, my plate carrier, loading my mags, got my handy AR here, you know, my gear here, all this stuff. Yeah. Fine and good. I'm glad that people have that. And hopefully getting the proper training with that gear, with that equipment, and with those tools. Because that's what these are. These are tools. That's all they are. But if people with the training that they probably have, they don't have the time to dedicate to training that military does. So I think a lot of some of the disconnect is that people's bravado, false bravado. People thinking, oh, I'm going to go Wolverines, I'm going to go fight the Russians. Might not be that easy. I highly advocate training. If you are a person that you see yourself in that role as a fighter, or even as a defensive person. Training, training, training. And physical fitness. If you're not physically fit, you will be dead. Period. If you are in that role. I'm not saying you have to be in that role. Support role is vitally important. Supply chains, medical, food, water, transportation, all these things. And this is all talking about like if it comes to our soil. Just saying. If you're going to be one out there operating, you have to be fit. You don't have to be a professional triathlete. You don't have to be a marathoner. But you got to have the ability to carry your gear, your pack, your plate carrier or chest rig, battle belt, war belt, AR, whatever you have. You got to be able to carry your proper gear that will sustain you in the field for probably extended periods of time for long distances and for extended periods of time. So what should you be doing now? If you are, say, I'll get to the other stuff in a moment. If you are one of those people that sees yourself as a fighter. Fitness, period. If you haven't started, start now. Are you behind the curve? Are you going to be able to be fit in time? Probably not. But at least you'll have that base. At least you might be able to get your muscles used to moving a little more than they are now prior to that. If fitness is part of your life, great, good job. Ramp it up, keep it up, embrace the suck, push yourself hard, 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 hard. Last night I was sitting on the couch, I was exhausted from a day of doing the things around here. Didn't want to run. You know what? Embrace the suck. Get hard, stay hard, be hard. I got up, picked myself up, went up there on the treadmill. I just set it on 5 because I was just going to cruise. Then I put the elevation on 10. Oh yeah, that gets you sweating real quick. And I ran. That was a good workout. Could I have gone harder? Could I have gone faster? Could I have gone more incline? Probably. But I'm proud of myself for getting up off that couch and going and doing it. I hope you guys are too. Okay, so that stuff aside, the fighter stuff. Fitness, training, have your gear ready. Yes. But what are the odds of troops landing on our soil immediately? Not very high likelihood. Eventually, maybe. But in the meantime, Russia-Ukraine thing. People going crazy and going to the store. Stock up on basic necessities. Preps, yes. Get your preps, food storage, continue all that. Step it up a notch. But also make sure that you are good to go on all your basic necessities. Average day use things that you may not, have in your preps. Although all your daily use items should be in your preps. Make sure that you have enough of the things that you're going to need for the next couple months. If we do get involved in this conflict, meaning the United States and or NATO, well, look for things to escalate fairly quickly from there. And if that happens, I don't know, I don't see that working out very well. Because I think that the way things are laid out, the fight would be over there. It wouldn't be here on our soil. But we would have to be ramping up everything here to support the war effort, kind of like World War II. Which means increasing government control, potentially, seizure of public property, your food preps, your garden spaces. Then how are you going to deal with that? How are you going to deal with people coming to confiscate your things because people know you're a prepper and the government's coming to take it? We're fighting a war. Are you going to fight back? You're not going to give it to them, I hope. It's all heavy things to think about. All the stuff I show, the ability to garden, raise beds, all the stuff like that, and, this stuff, these tools, and this equipment here. Yeah, it has a purpose. I look at it as defensive in nature. And I really hope that it's not defensive in nature going up against trained professional land forces, aka Russia or China. North Korea may jump in. If it becomes a world thing, then maybe they push the front over here. Although I think they're more interested in taking Europe. Reestablishing a lot of those nations that used to be part of the Soviet Union, as far as Russia goes. As far as China goes, we know Taiwan, other areas around them. But we need to take a hard look at our preps. Same as always. Our prepper notebooks. See what our weaknesses are. And another thing is, spring is coming. As far as long-term sustainability, do you have your seeds yet? Are you starting to work on your garden? If you're able to, I highly advocate that. There's a lot to think about, people. A lot to prepare for. What about the nuclear option? You ready there? You prepared there? Most people aren't. I'm not. Nowhere where I would like to be. But working on it. Yeah, that's all we can do. Stay positive. Do our best. Prep out of peace of mind, not out of fear. Spread the love. Form groups. That is vitally important. If you think you're going to go off and go Rambo by yourself, think again. You will not last. So forming groups, tribe, mutual assistance groups, militias, whatever you want to call it. That's just a word, just a term. Form groups of like-minded, strong people and train together. I would say it's almost too late for that, but it's never too late. Start now. Take your fitness seriously. Change your diet. Now is the time to change. Stop smoking. Stop drinking. Give up things that are expensive. That's expensive. I know people that spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars every paycheck, every couple of weeks on cigarettes and alcohol. That's hundreds of dollars you could be buying food with. Seeds, both kinds. Think about what your preps would be like if you weren't spending that money on that stuff and you were spending it on preps. Think about how much food you'd be able to acquire. Think about how many more preps you could get. I know it's tough. I know it is tough. But we got to do it. We got to set our priorities. We got to take this seriously. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Blessings to you and yours.